Hey everybody, this is Dr. Wynne Digrassie, and as promised, I came back on today to tell you our story of how our clinic began for our first live video for Mountain View Equine Hospital. So my name is Dr. Wynne Digrassie. My background is I graduated from the Virginia, Maryland Regional College of Veterinary Medicine back in the year of 1996. The same year my husband, Dr. Scott Reiners, graduated from Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine. We both decided to go on with advanced training, and he continued on to do an internship at Ohio State and then a surgical residency at Oklahoma State University, which he completed in the year 2000. I continued on at Virginia Tech and stayed on there to go straight into a theriogenology residency, which for those of you who don't know what that basically means I'm a horse OBGYN, and also I deal with the male side as well. My specialty in theriogenology is actually male infertility issues. And that's kind of what I focus most of my business on, is the stallion. So we continued on from there. We met when I moved out to Oklahoma State to finish a PhD, and because I did a master's at Virginia Tech, and when my advisor went out to Oklahoma, I followed him out there to do a PhD, which is where I met my husband, and from there the rest is history. We went on from there to go to Scottsdale, Arizona for a stint, about 2-year stint in Scottsdale, Arizona, working for Southwest Equine Medical and Surgical Facility, him as a surgeon, me as a theriogenologist. And then from there we came back to start Mountain View Equine Hospital, which was a raw piece of land. This is where it all started back in the year of 2002, when we decided to come back to the area and open our own business in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, because this is where I grew up. I'm originally from Stanton, Virginia, while Scott's originally from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So you can see I'm down here at the bottom. This is where it all began, the property where the whole property started from. We live on a beautiful 62-acre tract of land that we were able to purchase, and it started off literally as raw land. The year we built this, which was 2003, we had the monsoon of the century, so it took us a lot longer to build this property than what we thought. So it took us a whole year to build this facility, and we added on another barn a year later. So most everything here is everything from that we started in the beginning. This lovely sign in the background that you can see is a beautiful metal sculpture that my parents gave to us when we opened our practice. That logo, the horse you see, is our logo for Mountain View Equine Hospital. That was one that while we were getting ready for the move, we decided we'd make our own logo, and I sat down on the computer and did up the logo, and it stuck. So that's what our logo is that horse sculpture, and so they had it made into a beautiful sculpture to greet you as you enter onto the property. I'm going to turn this around as I keep talking as I walk up to show you the rest of the property. So let me turn this around now, because y'all don't need to look at me the whole time. So here you can see again the sign. That's the horse. That thing weighs a lot because it's full metal, and so we're never ever going to move it whether we leave or not. This is us coming up into the practice. You can see this is the practice up on the hill, and the reason we call it Mountain View is because if you look over this way, we have beautiful views of the mountains. Just such beautiful views of the mountains. So I love the fact that we have such a beautiful view here, and really very little traffic on this road, which is awesome. Our entrances are designed for tractor trailers to come in and out, because that's what the county required. So literally, if you're not good at driving a horse trailer, you need not worry, because you can literally drive up the driveway, drive around the buildings, and drive back down, and really never ever have to actually turn around and back up your horse trailer. So for those of us that aren't great at backing up a horse trailer, this is perfect for you. But this is what the facility looks like. And so basically what I want to share with you is kind of why we decided to build our practice and what our practice includes. And I'll go in and show you tours of the inside. So basically, we just started our practice in 2003, and the first building that was actually open for us to start was actually that building over there on the right. And that was our first building we worked out of. We had all the drugs sitting on the inside of there. We had the stalls. We were helping some mini owner with all his horses. So we were literally taking wheelbarrows down to feed the horses, and doing everything by hand because we pretty much had nothing. We did a few simple standing surgeries and a set of stocks there, but that's how we started to kind of get things going. My red F-250 pickup truck was our first vet vehicle we had. We had an old box that we had in another one of our SUVs that came all the way with us from Arizona, super old vehicle. And that's what we started with. We got that little vet box for basically a couple $100 from a vet that was retiring. And we had the pickup truck that I put some, little plastic things in the back, and we just started running the roads because the hospital did not get completed in a timely manner. We originally designed this to actually be all under one roof. Any of you guys that have constructed before, I didn't realize how much more money that was going to cost. So we had to, as you will see, be cost effective in everything we did with our practice. And luckily, both my husband and I are very strong in design aesthetics to where we could figure out really quickly how to make this work with much less square footage, which made me really happy that we were able to cut that down as well. You can also see as you're going up, we have a couple big paddocks. Right now, these are resting. These paddocks are resting. We try to do some rotational management with our paddocks so none of our paddocks get overwhelmed. Breeding season, that makes it difficult, but in the off season, it makes it a little bit easier. So these paddocks right now are resting, kind of recuperating, so they'll be ready for the next breeding season because that's when we get hit really hard. And then you can see we have a couple little paddocks. We like to do individualized turnouts for horses that can get turned out. We don't really like to turn out horses together because we know herd dynamics usually cause horses to actually, fight and have problems. So whenever possible, we put horses out individually by themselves, unless it's one owner who allows their horses to all go out together, then that's a different situation. We do have a camper on site that this next year, this camper actually is going to be home to a night watchman for our mares foaling out. I have determined that me watching the cameras all night, as I'm kind of done with that. So we've actually got this camper that's going to house some people to kind of help watch the mares foal at night. So we're going to do that. Let me turn this back around. Yep, I meant to go back on me. Go back on me, because y'all have to see me. So that's what that camper is going to be for. We have, for our foaling operation, I'll go to the repro barn first. Well, the foaling barn / outpatient barn first. We foaled out about 30 to 40 mares this past year. They're all under cameras when they're foaling out. They had special monitoring equipment on them to let us know when they're going as well, and we do special milk calcium tests to also determine. I would probably say that this is one of our biggest assets to our clinic, and I'm going inside now. Now I can take off my sunglasses. The biggest asset here is that if your horse has a foaling emergency, the cool thing is our surgery room is right literally within 100 feet. Sorry, had a phone call come in. So a lot of people bring their mares here to foal out because if the mare's in trouble foaling out, we are right here to foal them out. And if there's major trouble, then we have had to take horses next door to do C-sections on them to get foals out, and that's the best way to ensure getting a live mare and a live foal out, because Dr. Reiners is a boarded surgeon and has amazing record with getting live foals on the ground from C-section. And so because of that, a lot of owners just don't want to deal with all the stress associated with that, so they come here to foal out. This barn, I'll take you a quick glimpse around this barn, is basically the outpatient barn right now. So there's not many horses in here, and I'm not actually going to show you any horses for confidentiality sakes for the owners. But, if it's hot outside, we have fans up for them. We have lights on that we put on for the mare and foal stalls. Just, a basic barn, nothing really exciting about it, except for its really high ceilings for great ventilation. We have a therapeutic vibration plate system for our rehab horses, so then that way that helps to improve circulation. for the horses and helps improve the healing process. And then we just have like a little storage area right in here. This used to be where I collected my stallions. So this has actually changed quite a bit because we actually collected the stallions right over in here. We don't do that anymore. We actually do it up in that top barn, which you'll see up there. But two of these stalls, this stall can actually either be 2 stalls or 3 stalls. It can either be 3 stalls or 2 stalls, because that stall on the very end right there, actually the wall swings open to where that can be another mare foaling stall for the breeding season. So let me come back to that. All right, so that was it about that. But you know, we wanted to make sure that we had a full service facility that kind of had everything that anybody needed. And so that way people that if they used our vet clinic could turn around, and not only could we take care of the animal from birth, but on up through the rest of its life. So we go out on the road to do calls, but we also can take horses here as well. So the nice thing is you have complete, you know, veterinary care. So no matter what it is you really need, we usually can provide that service for you. And so the owners in this area have the, you know, the niceties of having a full service veterinary hospital and full service veterinarian to take care of them before, during, and after surgery here all at one facility. So I'm going to turn you back around again. I'm going to do the outside stuff first because I don't know if it's going to rain. These are some outdoor pens. These are what I call my day pens, or more individualized turnouts. There's 3 of them there. They have little covers. So for example, if an owner really does just want to throw a horse out there and they say, oh, they can't be in a stall at all, and they're here for a night, it does have covering, so we can put them out there. You may wonder, why is there some electric tape on top of some of the pens? Those pens are designed to where we can keep stallions in them. There's only a couple that are actually electrified. Most of my studs go into an electrified one first, and then they know what that tape means, and then they don't mess with it anymore. But it keeps stallions from jumping out of the paddocks when we turn them out, because they also have to have individualized turnout for safety reasons. This is just our little small isolation unit. It has the side on the left. Where's my finger? Okay, that's our clean side where we pass drugs through and stuff like that, and then there's a regular stall on the other side. And what I like about this isolation unit, number one, is it's totally off by itself. It's got its own manure dumping where we dump it in a totally different area than anywhere else. It does not get composted with the rest if we think there's something infectious. And then the other reason why I really like it is because it's got a little pen. And there's a lot of horses that get really kind of depressed when they're by themselves in isolation for whatever reason. And so this allows them to kind of come out and kind of like be able to be out in the air and see horses. Now, if they're blowing with diarrhea, they're not allowed to come out until they're down to cow pie manure. But at least if it's something that's like a respiratory infectious thing, they can stay right there and they can come in and out, you know, so that way they don't get so depressed. This right here is our feed shed. And you can probably hear in the background, we're doing some mowing today. It seems like that's a never-ending battle when you have this much property. That's our ring over there, so people can ride the horses if they need to show us a lameness with riding. And I'm not going to say that everything's going to be perfectly looking clean today, so I'm just going to tell you that. This is our feed shed. To me, it was very important to have the feed separated and hay separated from the rest of the barns because of the fact that hay can combust if it gets too wet. So this is totally separated from everything else, so then that way it's just perfectly safe for the horses. There's no contamination. And we use big square bales. We make sure our hay does not have fescue in it. We get it from reputable sources. We also usually get alfalfa and bring that in for the brood mares when that time comes around. But we either usually feed a Timothy or an orchard grass hay, and then alfalfa mix for our brood mares. We also have a little separate area that's got our sawdust in it. Our sawdust, it has no black walnut in it. It is actually strictly poplar is the sawdust we get, because we found that sometimes oak sawdust can be the tannic acid in it. It tends to be a little bit hard on their feet if they're standing in a stall for a long period of time and can eat away the bottoms of their feet. So we went with poplar, which has shown for us to be really good way to kind of keep the horse's feet that are in a stall for a long period of time from, you know, getting eat up too bad. So for lack of a better veterinary term. So we also have here a generator. So that way, you know, I'm at the end of a power line. So if the power goes out, we need a generator to keep things going. It keeps the well house going. It keeps the electricity on in the hospital. It keeps everything flowing. So if we're in surgery, we have literally a 3-second turnover before the power comes back on. You can see Dennis mowing. A little covered area, a little gazebo for owners to sit while they watch with my son's bicycle out. And then a flat, hard, paved area for lameness exams. And you're probably wondering what that mailbox is for. That is so Dr. Reiners can store his lameness exams in the rain while he's doing stuff so all the paperwork doesn't fly around. And then the other little building out there is our well house right now. You can see that all the main paddocks, the big paddocks where horses might stay outside, all have run-in sheds. They're metal run-in sheds, so then that way I don't have to worry about maintenance over time. And the buildings are all metal, so that way we don't have to worry about maintenance over time. We'll come into the back part. I feel like I'm going backwards with this. Here, let me go to the front part first, because then I'm going backwards. So we added another doctor this past year. Some of you guys have met her already. That is Dr. Bianca Reynolds. She graduated from the Virginia-Maryland Regional College of Veterinary Medicine over a year ago and did a stint of kind of an internship with us for a year. Because for us, our clientele is a very high-level clientele that want nothing but the best. So we vet our veterinarians pretty hard to make sure that they are going to live up to what our expectations are. And so her main job is going to be just general practice, and she's also going to be taking over some of the breeding stuff because that's her area of interest, is all the breeding operations. So she's going to be helping me with all of the breeding stuff as I start to scale back a little bit, and then she's also going to help out with just general routine day-to-day practice. All right, so now I'm going to show you. We're going to go in the front door. Here's the front door. And we're going to go in. And they're not gonna be happy. Y'all better be nice as you're talking. They're walking away from me because they know I'm doing the video. Okay, so this is the front office. So we like to have pictures of our clients on their horses. So if you have not given us an 8x10 picture of your horse doing something, please send us a picture. We would love to put it on our wall. That was a picture of all our foals we had this past year. And then you can see we've got other lovely pictures. I did a very rustic theme because I wanted this to be more like a homey atmosphere for you guys when you come in. If you have to sit here so you don't feel like you're in like a hospital setting, that you just kind of feel warm and comfortable here. So that's kind of what we chose to do. This is our front desk. Look, they're not here right now. That's because they're all running and hiding from me. But this is normally where our front desk administrator would be. For a while, you guys know that for lately it's been Ashley, who's our head technician, as we were searching for a new receptionist. But we have now just hired a new receptionist, Peggy, who is joined on, and she's getting trained today. So she's probably going to run and hide from us as well. And so back here, you know, bathroom, my office. Do not go in my office. It's a mess. And then the other two doctors' offices in the back. So that's kind of our front part. You can see out here we have just a little garden area in the front for people as well. And then we're going to come in here. This is getting ready to get reconverted as a standing surgery and an exam room. We actually are going to start for the local clients right in this area, because there's a vet that I think is getting ready to retire. We are going to start doing a little bit more small animal mobile. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to add a little exam room for that. And then we're going to have a standing surgery back here. So this is getting ready to be reconverted. There's Ashley, our head technician. Say hello, Ashley. Hey. She's very happy. And there's Dr. Reynolds with our new puppy, Fred Bear. That's Wyatt's new puppy. Say hi, Fred Bear. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. He's like about as excited as everybody else is. And so here is surgery. Oh, this is our new receptionist. Say hi, Peggy.
How are you?
She's moved up from Florida, so she's loves Virginia. I don't know why I'd be in Florida right now, but anyway. So, all right, this is surgery. So in there is basically where we sterilize everything. The doctors prep for surgery. They get themselves sterile, gowned up, and ready to go. And this is our surgery room. This is probably one of the biggest surgery rooms you'll ever be in because it's a big horse. And you can see we've got basically a hoist. We hoist horses up, for those you don't know, by their feet to put them onto a cushioned surgery table. So that's quite normal. And no, people ask me all the time, does that hurt their legs? No, it does not. The horse is completely anesthetized at the time they get raised up. You can see we run anesthesia with a regular anesthesia machine. However, horses are put on a ventilator when they're under anesthesia. And we'll do another one where we anesthetize a horse at some other point, so we can show you that. But horses usually go on a ventilator because they breathe much better under anesthesia if they're actually on a ventilator. We do monitor our patients under anesthesia. We have an all-in-one monitoring machine that basically allows us to measure heart rate, end-tidal CO2, SpO2, blood pressures. It can do temperatures, but in adult horses, that's just something we don't need to do, and as well as invasive blood pressure. More equipment over here. This is all of our arthroscopy equipment. Over there hiding from me is Emily. She's actually getting ready to sterilize some more surgical equipment. Every, 3 to 6 months, sterilization needs to be done again. Just for interesting sake, for those of you guys that didn't know, this is the size, if you've ever been intubated before, this is the size of a horse intubation tube we do. So it's quite large compared to, this is what we use in dogs and cats. So, that's even big for most dogs and cats. So we have an active evacuation system for our gases, so nobody passes out while they're in here. And in here is our anesthesia closet. I liked the idea of having our gases separate in case there was a problem. Our guys can come deliver oxygen totally separately, so they're not interrupting us if they come during surgery. And we have 4 tanks large tanks on the line at all times, because horses with most surgeries will go through almost a complete tank of oxygen when they complete a surgery. And then just some more basic equipment in here. So I'm getting caught. All right. I'm going to try to hurry now, because y'all are probably like, yeah, okay, this is boring. All right, so now we're moving on. This is our pharmacy where we keep all our drugs. Everything's labeled, so this is kind of a boring room, so we're going to pass right through this. This is our in-house lab. So we have, lots of different laboratory equipment. We can do most of our blood work in-house, as well as some basic culturing in-house, microscopic examination, stuff like that. So a lot of our stuff is done in-house, which makes it easier so you get information right away. Now this takes us out to our ICU wing. We're currently fixing that stall front right there because it had a little bit of an issue. So we're fixing that right now. But we opened this up this year for those of you all who've been to Mountain View before. This is now a big mare and foal stall. We always felt that these other stalls were a little bit too small for a big mare and foal. So we opened this up this year, and now we have one big mare and foal stall. And the cool thing is if we actually have a foal that has to be separated, now instead of what we did before, which was we used to put gates in the front and have it this way, we actually can have a gate over here on the side and have the foal separated from the mare if it's on a whole bunch of oxygen lines and stuff like that. So the only down sick foals we usually take are the ones that foal out here, just due to the fact that maybe boring, but so clean. Oh, thank you, Rosemary. That's very nice. Anyway, so that's, why we do this. And speaking of cleanliness, we designed this facility so that way in this part of the barn, we knew that disease can run rampant in any hospital situation because these animals are sick. So we designed this so from top to bottom, we can pressure wash this facility. These mats can also come up now to where there's concrete underneath and we can disinfect them. So these mats come up at least twice a year to get disinfected. The whole hospital gets disinfected completely twice a year, and every time a horse leaves, the stalls get disinfected and sanitized between every horse that comes in here. The stall fronts, this is Trek boarding, so it's really easy to clean and disinfect. And then the windows, we have drop down things so we can clean the windows. Those are breakaway bars. So then that way if a horse gets his foot caught trying to jump out the window, those break away so the horse doesn't get hurt. You can also see we have little fluid lines. Horses, when they're on fluids, it's not just like a little bag of fluid. They've got usually about 4-5 liter bags of fluids hung up. Now, if you can imagine holding a horse still for that is pretty hard to do. So what we did was, or what all hospitals do really, this is not just us specific, is they put the fluids on a pulley system so that way the horse can have the fluids hook up. They can be running all the time and the horse can be moving unencumbered around the stall. We also have hay racks in there, and then of course water. Now, the big thing that I love that we decided to do, which I felt was the best investment we ever made, other than the trek boarding in the hospital, was this flooring. This is a rubberized flooring system that we got, and it has really helped out quite a bit. It's super comfortable, it's very easy to disinfect, and it has kept a lot of horses from developing laminitis when they've been in here for long periods of time. So if you're looking at putting a barn in and you want an amazing flooring system, go with a rubberized floor. I will tell you, it will pay for itself over and over again. So that's not a plug for any particular company. But okay, so this is where we drop the horses. Let me turn the light on really quick. Okay. All right. All right, so this is a padded room, and you would say this is where I go when I go crazy, or when I'm gonna be put when I go crazy. But in general, horses, when they get up, don't get up the most gracefully. So because they don't get up gracefully, usually they kind of bounce against the walls. So by padding the walls, it keeps the horses from getting hurt. The other nice thing is we do what we call rope recovery, which means that we have ropes on their head and on their tail. So then that way we help. We're in here, one person is in the stall with the horse, the other person is usually up there on a ladder. On the head part of it, this is usually the tail part of it over here. And basically we help the horse get up and stabilize it when it's getting up from anesthesia. Things can still happen, but it makes it a lot easier so it doesn't happen as often. Then from there, they can go straight in there into surgery, and they get hoisted up and taken straight into surgery. The other cool thing is we have an identical stall like this next door. If we need 2 induction stalls, the other one also can be a recovery stall or a neurologic stall for a down horse. We designed it also to where the hoist can come all the way out here. Literally, when we take these end doors off, a truck and trailer can drive in here if they have a down horse on the trailer, and we can literally pick it up by bringing the hoist all the way out here, pick it up off the trailer, or if we have a horse that goes down in the stall, then we can help get them out with the hoist system that comes all the way out. It comes out for this stall and for that stall. So just this past year, we added LED lights to try to be more energy efficient. And yeah, that's all I would say about that. That's just the bathroom. That's an equipment storage area. And up here, this is where I talked about we had to be efficient with our spacing. Up here above everywhere is either storage units or some of the air conditioning and heating stuff. So we've got a lot of upstairs storage to make this a lot more efficient. We also, down at the other end around the corner, have an in-ground scale that can do up to 2,500 pounds. So we actually can get a more accurate weight on the horses. So now you can see Den is still mowing. These are what our vet vehicles look like. We don't do the trucks strictly because of the fact that trucks, usually people see that, in Arizona at least, they saw that as a way to hijack them and try to get the drugs out of them. So this looks like just somebody's regular vehicle. We used to put our logo on the outside, but for safety issues, we decided to stop doing that as well. So that way it's less likely that people are gonna try to break in and try to steal our controlled drugs that are in the car, which was quite a commonplace in Arizona. We also burn all of our trash in a burn barrel we have out there, so you can feel secure that we burn your personal information. So that's what we do with that. Plus it's also kind of environmentally and energy efficient. We're trying to be good for the environment. We also take all of our shavings and all of our manure that is not infectious of nature, and we compost it. So we compost everything as well. Again, trying to be, very energy efficient. That little modular house over there, that's actually where Scott and I live. We lived off site for a while and decided to come back on site because it was too difficult with a 5-year-old son to be in surgery and also checking on mares at night. So we moved back on the property, and Scott and I both live on the property. So technically, unless we're not at home, you have a vet here 24/7. Again, more paddocks out here for horses. Again, some of them are being rested right now. You may see my babies here in a minute, my yearlings, soon to be yearlings. And then again, another stud paddock and another regular paddock. we tried to really think of safety in mind with everything we did here at Mountain View Equine Hospital. And so every time I turn around, I'm trying to figure out safety issues and trying to figure out how to improve safety issues, because this facility gets really busy in the spring, and it kind of, as breeding season dies off, it kind of slows way down. Now we're coming up to my breeding barn. I will tell you, our facility is completely fenced. So if a horse does get loose, the first protocol is we run down and close the bottom gates, and then the horse is basically locked into this facility to where it can't get out to the road. So, unless it jumps the fence. So that's kind of nice, is that we made sure we completely fenced this property all the way around, because we have had horses. I mean, you know, it's inevitable. They get on the trailer, they don't want to get on the trailer, and they get loose. The nature of the beast. There's another paddock off the barn. There's another 10 stalls up in this barn as well. This barn was built after the fact. Basically, this was a mini barn at first, because we were actually housing some miniature horses for a client for a while. And then when he left, I took it over as my breeding barn. Oh, there's my yearlings out there. My 3 babies. If anybody wants a baby, they are for sale. So, now we're coming into my breeding barn. And this is where I spend my time in the summer. Liquid nitrogen, that's for freezing semen. We do freeze semen. And this is my lab. Also, Dr. Reynolds uses this lab as well. So we got an incubator going and all the breeding equipment associated that's needed. There's a little bathroom there, not that that's necessary. And then this is where we collect our studs. We close these doors. A lot of times we cover the windows because stallions are easily distracted. But this is we can adjust this higher or lower depending on the size of the stallion. We can put a teaser mare in this stall to keep it safe for the stallion. And then this is where I ultrasound my mares, and we have like a little swing gate back there where a foal can be up front. The mare can still see the foal, and we can check the mare, and the mare comes out the side when we're done. And then again, just some more stalls. So there's more paddocks in the back. We stand currently 2 stallions that live here full time, 2 thoroughbred stallions. One's down there, one is up there. They love being out. They both have companions out there. When at all possible, I like to have stallions have a buddy, because it actually makes the stallions happier. Mr. Sydney has a donkey, and Grande has a miniature mare that he just adores. And then of course those are 2 of my horses out there that are on rehab right now. And then we have another hay barn up here as well, and we have some individual pens right here that are getting ready to get redone. So basically that's Mountain View Equine Hospital. I hope y'all enjoyed the little brief tour. I'm going to show you one more time the picture of why we named it Mountain View Equine Hospital. It's just a beautiful, picturesque view. Every time I walk down there, you know, I sit there and say, how lucky could I get to get such an amazing facility? We have more land down over the hill that we're going to be developing into more paddocks probably this next year, because we've kind of are outgrowing with all of the mares that come in for breeding every year. We kind of are outgrowing the paddocks we have. And so that's basically Mountain View Equine Hospital in a nutshell. We can do everything from as simple as just routine vaccines, Coggins, dentals, on up to advanced surgeries such as orthopedic repair, joint flushes, colic surgery, you know, ophthalmic surgery, which is for the eyeball, C-sections, you know, of course, breeding stuff. The only thing I will tell you I do not do is I don't do embryo transfer anymore. There are plenty of other places that do that. It just is very cost prohibitive to keep a whole herd of recipient mares. So we decided to disband that once the economy took a hit in 2008. And so I send those to one of many other facilities if that's something you want. We can breed them, but then we send them somewhere else to go get flushed out and the embryos to get transferred. But for the stallions, we collect stallions, we train stallions, we freeze stallion semen, we do all of that. And in fact, that barn up there is getting ready to get completely disinfected to get ready to freeze stallions, because I usually freeze them in the fall when we're not busy. So that's when the stallions usually start coming in for fall freezing, because I want everything completely disinfected before I start freezing semen to give them the best opportunity of having the best chance of success with the freezing of semen. And I store the semen for them as well. And then we're gearing back up again, before I know it, for breeding season that'll start February 15th. So if you need any help with anything, I'm boarded in theriogenology. I'm also a certified acupuncturist and tween eye instructor. Dr. Ryan, and I'm also the practice manager. Dr. Reiners is board certified in surgery as well as in sports medicine and lameness. And Dr. Reynolds, just newbie out. Can't wait to see what she wants to get her certification in. But if you have any questions or ever need anything from us, please just let us know. And don't forget to let us know other videos you would love to see from us, other questions you have. Hopefully in the next day or two, we're actually gonna do a little live stream on a foot problem that one of my horses has. So then that way you guys can see what we do with the horse's foot, and kind of Dr. Reiners will explain why he did what he did with the foot. And then as we have other stuff come up, especially if it's my horses, I don't mind you all seeing live videos of that, but you know, we probably won't be showing too many other customers' horses unless the customer gives permission for us to do that. But anything you all want information on or hear more about or us to educate you on, please don't hesitate to make comments and let us know. And I hope you all have a great day, and thanks for watching Mountain View Equine Hospital.